My name is Mike Meredith. I'm the doctor of Doctor's Wood Shop, and we're here again at Northwoods Figured Woods, and Les and Susan have opened up their shop for me to make these video tutorials about the products produced by Doctor's Wood Shop. In this one I'd like to talk about the walnut oil and wax wood turning finish. This is the first product Doctor's Wood Shop made. I wanted an oil wax finish, but I didn't want the solvents that go into it. As a biochemical toxicologist, I've always been cognizant that wood finishes sometimes are not the most healthy thing for us. So I needed a way to distribute the wax without the solvents that would normally be present to keep the wax in a liquid form. This has been a new technology. I have a patented process to produce carnauba wax particles that are so small they behave as though they're in a liquid state, when in fact they're still solid. That's the heart of the walnut oil and wax wood turning finish. Now this is a finish that I've made to be food safe. It is, after all, salad dressing and the coating of M&Ms. Carnauba wax is on the outside of M&Ms, and that's why they melt in your mouth and not in your hand, because carnauba wax has a higher melting point than most waxes. But in the microaggregated form, the carnauba wax will flow evenly across the surface of the wood without the solvents required to keep it liquid. So this is a food safe, food-friendly finish for anything that's going to touch foodstuffs. The friction polishes contain alcohol, but this polish actually could be thought of as a friction polish because it needs the heat of the lathe, the friction of the rotating motion, to drive the oil into the wood and then melt the wax across the surface. The smooth surface and the melting wax flowing and filling give a very high luster shine. Plus the heat initiates the polymerization of the oil once it's inside the wood. Let me show you briefly how to use the walnut oil and wax wood turning finish to put a finish onto this walnut bowl that I turned yesterday. This is Southern Oregon black walnut. You can see the very nice figure and winter wood that characterizes the species. It's been sanded to 600 using a sanding lubricant, and I'm satisfied with the finish. I'm now ready to use the walnut oil and wax wood turning finish to put that food safe finish onto it. Set it at a moderate speed, somewhere around 1000 RPM, and with the other finishes, you can apply directly to the towel, cover the piece with a thin layer of the material. Now this is the finish with the microaggregated carnauba wax, the patented process that I had to develop to get wax to behave as though it's a liquid without the organic solvents to dissolve it. Okay, so we've got the surface pretty well saturated. We can turn up the lathe and polish that to a nice high satin finish. The look I was going for was not gloss, but in fact satin, in keeping with that wood should look like wood principle of the company. But if your surface is properly prepared, that's all it takes, and you see we now have a protected oil wax finish on this nice little walnut bowl. In the course of a year or two, the finish is going to dull. You can buff it back with a soft cloth or put it onto a buffing wheel, or apply a new coat of the walnut oil carnauba paste wax to restore the shine. Irrespective of the shine, the wood is still protected by the polymerized walnut oil.